her. She has her full foundation and contouring and cheek glow and all that stuff. There is a video on the members page right now that talks about the cheek glow, it talks about the face glow, and I did in that video, in the beginning of the video, I went over all the steps of highlighting, contouring, so you guys could have a review on that as well. So she is rocking my signature contour and highlights, just not super dark. I wanted to keep it very soft and beautiful because we're going to do a pretty nutty, crazy eye on her, so I don't want to go overboard and clownish. And I've obviously already done her lips and her brows, so we're just going to go ahead and get started with the Arabian eye. So I'm going to start off with this lovely brush here. You guys have seen it a million times. Oh, by the way, my henna is going to show in this video. So anyway, this is my MAC brush number 2, I believe it's 287. This is what I use for applying eyeshadow base. I also use this brush to apply concealer underneath the eyes as well. So the eyeshadow base that we're going to use today is MAC Paint Pot, this lovely deal. And the color is called Soft Ochre. If you guys have seen my smoky eye class, which is still up, by the way. If you guys have seen it, then you know I love soft ochre. This is the color to get at MAC, unless you're like super, 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 super fair and pinky. But if you're not super fair and pinky, this is the color you need to get, because Painterly, which is the color that MAC tends to sell everyone, is horrific. I'm sorry. So this is the color that we're going to use. The reason I say that one's horrific is because it's so pink and so gray that it ends up looking super ashy. This color has a little bit of a yellow beige undertone, which looks a lot more natural on most skin tones. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start applying this Paint Pot Soft Ochre using my brush very, very flatly. And I want a nice, even, clean sweep of this color throughout the entire eye, and I'm being very careful to not mess up her gorgeous brows that I've already styled and filled in. I used Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in dark brown to fill in and style her brows. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just filling in the entire lid up until the brow with Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And I use the brush in a very flat manner, so I'm not jabbing at her eye. If you go like this, it's not going to feel so lovely on your clients. Same on the other side. Making sure you're being very gentle and smoothing it all the way from the lash line, no gaps. And I'm being very careful to etch it right under the brow filler that I applied. And that's it. So now our eyelids are nice and clean. Every color we're going to put over it is going to pop and show because this particular item has full coverage. So now I've created a nice clean slate to work on. I know a lot of my students use Urban Decay. Try to get, or for the eyeshadow base or some sheer color, try to get something with a little bit more coverage because the sheer color isn't going to brighten the eye area as much as this will. This works similar to concealer, so yes, you're going to want to get something more like this. So now that the eyeshadow base is done, we are going to put a nice soft light eyeshadow right on her brow bone. We are going to be using the Tamana palette. This is pretty much the palette that I would use for the rest of my life, and I'm very sad that this is not going to be in production anymore. There's a few left on AnastasiaBeverlyHills.com. We're trying to keep it on through the holidays, but the cool news is Anastasia did make singles of these colors that you can make your own palette. So if you like any of these colors, write them down and you can try your best to order the single from her website if they no longer have my palette. So we're going to start with Fresh, which is this light matte color. I'm really into using mattes for under the brows instead of going with shimmer, because we're about to give her a disco ball eye, and the last thing I need is for the whole thing to look super shiny. So let's be a little more sophisticated, shall we? So this brush is just the shader brush from MAC, and we're just gonna stamp it right on, starting from the arch of the brow, finishing up with the tail, and then going inward until you're finished with the brow zone. And I like to use a lot of products because I really like bold color. So as you can see, there's really no blending involved. It's really about stamping and sliding to get that product to stick to her and give her that nice clean arch. We're going to use the same color again for the other side, stamping, stamping, and smoothing all the way in. I like to start with the arch and tail first because that's where I want most of my product to go. You have to remember that wherever your brush touches the skin first is the part where most of the product is going to stick. So if you want the biggest punch to be right on the arch, then you want to start on the arch. If you want, like for dark colors, for example, if you want the darkest area to be on the outer corner of the eye, then you would start with your dark color on the outer corner of the eye, and then whatever product is left on your brush, you would bring it in. So I hope that makes sense to you guys as to why I'm starting at the arch and then filling in the rest. Okay. Now that the entire brow zone is done, and we have this beautiful clean underbrow going on with Fresh, that color from the palette, which is basically just a matte cream shade, we are now ready to actually create the cut crease. I jump right into the cut crease. Now, the way I do a cut crease is actually with a gel eyeliner. And I have my model look straight out, and then while her eyes are open, I etch out where I would want her cut crease to be using a small angled brush. And I don't go too hard with it, I go very light. And then I can let her close her eyes and I can just go nuts with it. Another way to create a cut crease is to do her regular eyeliner first, including her wing. That way you can have a guideline as to where her cut crease needs to go. So once her eyeliner is on, then I can create a guideline of a cut crease and either let it meet or let it float. I want to show you guys how each way looks. I'm going to show you the meeting way, the way where it's like connected, and then at the end of class I want you to see how it looks with the gap. So I'm sure you've seen both ways on my page. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of eyeliner on her. This is just a rough draft eyeliner, meaning we're still going to be doing real eyeliner over it later. So what I'm going to use right now is Fluid Line from MAC, and the color is called Dip Down. It is a dark brown gel eyeliner, and the brush I'm using with it is MAC number 263. The angled liner brush. And I'm just going to use it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to sharpen the brush as if it's a knife. I'm going to go nice and sharp with it so that I can create a very, very clean edge. No bristles are split. So remember guys, just make sure you're sharpening it like a knife while you're applying the color. Make sure there's no chunks on the brush, and make sure the bristles aren't spread open. So that's how I make sure that my bristles look just as sharp as you see it right now. And this is what we're going to use right now for her eyeliner, just a rough draft version of an eyeliner, and then we're going to do the cut crease. So while her eyes are just looking straight out, I'm going to create a little bit of a wing, just like that, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so her wings are made. And go ahead and close your eyes. I'm just going to do the rest of her eyeliner. This is not the final eyeliner. Her final eyeliner is going to be black, but this is just, again, a rough draft so that I know where to place all my colors. So I'm lifting up her skin a little bit so I can get really deep into her lash line, and I'm applying this. Now, go ahead and open. So now we have to somehow connect this wing into the rest of her eyeliner. Close again. What I'm doing is I'm going to almost the tip of the wing, and I'm just doing a straight line connection into the rest of the eyeliner, and I'm going to fill in any gaps, just as so. So now the guideline of the wing has completed. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Do your regular eyeliner as you normally do. What I normally do is I use the brush flat up against her, and I do it in little sections and I glide over. And then I'm going to connect the wing into the eyeliner now. So I'm going almost to the tip of the wing and connecting it straight across and filling in any gaps. So now my rough draft is done. I've at least gotten like some of the hard part out of the way, and now I can do the rough draft of her cut crease. Now we're going to use a dark brown gel liner, the same dark brown gel liner. The reason why I like to use this is because if I go straight into black in her cut crease, blending a black eyeliner is very difficult, number one. And number two, it ends up looking gray when you blend it out. So to keep the integrity of your color and to keep the richness of the tone, I'm using dark brown, which is dipped down from MAC. So I'm going to get a little bit more product. And now, while you're looking right out, I'm going to sketch out the upper portion above her fold where I think her cut crease should be. So while the eyes are open, you can get a better idea over where the cut crease placement needs to be. If her eyes are closed, go ahead and close your eyes. Well, your eyes are freaking perfect, so it's easy to figure out on you. But on people with hooded eyes, for example, it's very hard to tell where to put the cut crease. So that's why I figured out that if the eyes are open and looking straight ahead, I can tell exactly where I want my cut crease to be. And where it should be just a hairline over where the fold dips into the skin. So the socket line, right, a hairline right above it. So that while her eyes are wide open, you can still see the line. So right now her eyes are wide open. I can very clearly see the line. So that means I am doing it correctly. Now, if the line was a lot higher and there would be a total gap in between her socket line and this line, then that would look a little surprising. It would look a little cartoony. So that's a little too high. If my line was a little lower into the socket line completely, then when she opens her eyes, it would disappear. So that's why I did it where I did it, just a hairline over her fold of her socket line. And you just want to create like a sketching. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect right now. Like I said, I'm going to show you ways how to fix it, but this is just a rough draft. Once you've created this, you can figure out, do I want my cut crease to meet with the eyeliner, like in the picture I posted? Or do you want it to float right above so it looks like a double wing? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the connecting one now, and then I'm going to show you how to change it to a floating one later. So I'm going to connect it to the wing. Just like that. So I just connected it. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Go ahead and look straight out. I'm just going to sketch over where I think your cut crease needs to go. Just a hairline over her natural fold. And now I'm going to connect it to her wing in a point. A little cutie pie flare like that. So now that I've created the guideline, I'm going to let her close her eyes and I'm going to make the line bolder. I need this line to be super bold so that I have product to work with while I'm blending. Same brush, number 263 from MAC, and same color as her eyeliner right now, which is Dip Down from MAC as well. We're going to make this line super bold. Bold meaning thick. And what I do in the inner corner is I let the line kind of disappear before it touches her tear duct. So it's fading into nothing. So now I have made a very bold line, which is very, very visible and very cartoon looking, I guess, comic book looking. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. While her eyes are closed, now that I've already created my guideline, I can make the line bolder and cleaner. If you guys get any smudge marks, don't worry. Don't waste your time cleaning it. I will show you a way that will get rid of it. Don't worry. Okay, the bold line is done. That kind of looks cool by itself, but we are going to do so much more with this. So bold line is done. This is the cut crease. Now, to create that gradient, that fade above the cut crease so it looks like eyeshadow, we are going to apply eyeshadow right over this. I'm going to have you guys use a smudger brush, a small smudger brush. This is MAC 231. It looks like a square. And we're going to use this to set her cut crease and to also start spreading it upward. And we will also use a pencil brush to help us with the blending. So what I'm going to do right now is go into a dark brown eyeshadow, such as Chocolate from the Tamana palette, which is pretty dark. It's a nice rich brown, this one right here. I'm going to dip right into this. And now I'm just going to stamp that color right along the entire cut crease. I'm doing this so that it sets that line and it starts giving me enough product to work with while we're blending later. You'll know why I'm doing this in the next step. Same on the other side. Carefully, carefully apply Chocolate all over to set the areas that you've applied the dark brown gel liner. So now I have set the line. Next, I'm going to start spreading the shadow upward. There are a couple ways that you can do this. One way, and I'm going to show you one way on one eye and another way on the other eye. So I'm going to let you guys decide what's easier for you. One way is with the same brush, the 231 brush. All I'm doing is flatly and upside down, stamping and sliding up. So what I'm going to do it in slow motion so you guys can see. Stamp and slide up. Stamp, slide up. Stamp, slide up. No big movements though. These are all very, very small movements. And what this is doing is it's beginning to start fading the color upward so that it goes from dark to light as it goes up. So we're just going to stamp in a flat motion, smoothing it upward. Now, as you get to the inner corner of the eye, you don't want it to stamp too hard and too thick. So the inner corner of the eye is going to be thinner than the outer corner. If you happen to have any type of fallout whatsoever, very, very lightly pick it up and let it flick away. I usually don't wait till the end to clean up any fallout. If I see anything, I clean it up right away. Just so the oils of the skin don't let that product start sticking. So see what's happening? You're seeing a gradient from dark to light as it goes higher and higher. So I'm sliding this gradient higher and higher so that it really has a true fade. Like that. There are several other ways you could do this. This isn't the only way to do this. Like I said, I'm going to show you a couple different ways. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit more drama by adding some more product in the areas that haven't grabbed on so well. And now with almost nothing left on my brush, I can slide it even higher to create more of that faded effect. So don't be afraid to start entering the brow zone. As long as you don't have a lot of product on your brush, it's only going to look like a fade. And feel free to use your fingers to really smooth it out. In case there's any areas that don't look smooth, you can totally use your fingers to smooth it out. So I'm going to show you on the other eye what I do with a different brush. In case you don't like this method, there's another way you can do this. So instead of using that little tiny brush, whip out a pencil brush. Looks like this. This is from Sigma. The number is E30. And what you want to do is dip it right into the same dark brown color, chocolate, and start stamping a fat, 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 fat stamp. I mean, this looks insane. Yes, I know. But you want to stamp a very thick layer all the way across, a little thinner as you get to the inner corner, but thicker everywhere else. Stamp it pretty heavy, all the way to the wing. So now that I've stamped it all thick and crazy, I can wipe off my brush with a tissue, or you can wipe it off with the Color Switch Duo and literally remove that top edge. So I'm wiping off the top edge of that huge fatty line that I made. And what that's doing is it's creating that fade for me. So if you don't like this method with 231 brush, you can use this method with the pencil brush. And here is proof that two totally different methods can give you the same result. It's all about what you feel comfortable with. I would not want you guys to try something that well, actually I do want you to try it, but I wouldn't want you to be stuck with a method that you're not comfortable with. You're never stuck. So what I did just now is I just added a little bit more dark right in that base so that it's super dark at the base and it just gets lighter and lighter as you go up. So those are the two ways that I create my cut crease gradient. Again, one way was to use the 231 brush. In case you just logged in and missed it, what I did was I applied a bunch of color here and then I faded it upward by using the 231 brush in a flat way. So you have to use it upside down and fade it up. On this side, what I did was I just used the pencil brush to create a super fat line. And then I wiped off the brush so that nothing is left on my bristles. And then I removed some product from the top edge of that line. I did not touch the bottom edge to remove any product from the bottom edge. Keep in mind, if you're going to use this method, you have to only remove the very top edge of product to fade it up. And then if you feel like you removed too much from the dark part, then grab more product and darken it up right there. Okay, I hope we're clear. I hope we're all on the same page. Looking good so far. Now, all we have to do is fill up her lid with another color. Now, I'm going to show you something that's going to look horrible on camera, but I'm going to make a mistake on purpose so I can show you how to fix it. So let's say you were creating your cut crease and you're doing this thing and you accidentally get it on her lid, okay? Or let's say you use the eyeliner like that and you accidentally get it on her lid, or maybe it smudged and looked all crazy. Instead of using a Q-tip with eye makeup remover to remove this, what I do is I usually just use my finger, or you can use a dry Q-tip, just to try to remove the excess product. And then check this out. I'm about to use a gold eyeshadow on her, and it's going to cover everything to make it look like I did the perfect cut crease to begin with. So, going back to your flat shader brush from MAC, or any flat brush at all, you're going to dip into Gilded. Gilded is my gold color from the palette. Go ahead and close your eyes. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull up with her eyebrow and pull down with her lashes to stretch that skin as much as it can stretch. And I'm going to dip right on to the part where I made my cut crease, and I'm going to apply this gold eyeshadow right over it. And what that just did was cover up my mistake so it looks like nothing happened. Oh. I hope that's your light bulb moment, guys. Don't waste your time with eye makeup remover. Do not ruin all your hard work with one wipe of a Q-tip. Just go over it with a metallic eyeshadow like this, and it will cover everything right up. And now it looks so perfect, like no mistake was ever made. I'm going to do the same on the other side, of course, without the mistake. Gilded is this color here, which is what I just used. This one. Grab the color. And the way we are applying it is the same way we did it in the last class, which is the smoky eye class. I'm stretching the skin though, so I can get really deep into that crease and making sure that my bristles of the brush are not going over into the cut crease area. I'm keeping it on the lid and just touching the cut crease area, but not going over all the way. And what we're gonna do is called the press and slide. Well, I kind of made that up, but whatever. It's the press and slide where I hold the skin up, I press the product in, and I slide it down. Or you can slide it across. And the slide action is what keeps that product nice and wet looking on the eye. So now it looks metallic and it has this shiny property to it and looks amazing. And that couldn't have been possible if you would just pat, 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 pat. Patting breaks up product. We want to smooth the product, bring it all to one. So that you have to kind of slide it. And now that we did that, we can go back with our 231 brush with chocolate just to clean up any edges in case I got some gold on it. So I'm just cleaning up edges now. Okay, and that's really it when it comes to a cut crease. Now we're ready for eyeliner and we'll be done. But I like to go glam, so we're going to do a lot more than just this. But if you wanted to stop at this just for a simple cut crease look, this is what a cut crease entails. We have the line. Let me recap actually real quick just so you guys are on the same page. The first thing we did was eyeshadow base all over both sides. We used soft ochre. And then we applied fresh right under the brow bone. And then we created the eyeliner with the dark brown gel liner. And we created the wing. And then while her eyes were open, we drew the rough draft of her cut crease with an angled brush. And then we set, and then when her eyes were closed, we bolded up the line. So we made the line a lot stronger, cleaned it up a little bit by making it thicker when her eyes were closed. Then we set the eyeliner with a dark brown eyeshadow called Chocolate with a small smudging brush. And then we can either use a small smudging brush or a pencil brush to bring more eyeshadow into her socket and blast it up by pulling it up into her upper crease. Don't be afraid to bring it over into her brow bone area as long as you don't have a lot of product on your brush. It's got to look like a complete fade. It's got to go from dark to light as you go from here to here. It's just got to get lighter and lighter and lighter as it goes up into the brow zone. Then, when she closed her eyes, we cleaned up any messes by using a metallic eyeshadow on her lid and filled up her whole lid with that. So that's all we did so far. And now we are ready for eyeliner. So I'm going to go ahead and whip out my black gel liner, Inglot number 77. And it looks like this. And same liner brush, number 263. And remember how I use it? You got to sharpen it like a knife. Otherwise, it's going to come out really messy. So now I've sharpened it like a knife. Everything's nice and tight on the brush. And I'm going to redo her base eyeliner. Go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to redo her wing, which is so easy for me now because I've already created my rough draft and I can still kind of see it. So it's very easy for me to go ahead and trace right over it using black. Then lift up the skin a little bit and draw your line all the way across. I like to do it in little sections, so I'm working my way from the outside in. But if you guys have a way that you're more comfortable with, feel free to use your way. And I'm just filling in any gaps. And now I've created my eyeliner. And I just want to make sure that the wing is more connected to the eyeliner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to the wing and make a straight line all the way across and meet towards the center of the eye right there, and then fill in any gaps. So now I have created like a cat eyeliner kind of. See how beautiful and bold this looks? Very sultry and clean at the same time. Same thing on the other side. I'm grabbing more product, making sure my brush is saturated and sharp. I'm going to trace over her wing here. Here's another tip, guys. If you're doing a wing and you have a problem with the wing getting so fat, that's probably because either A, you're using too much product on your brush, B, your brush was not sharp enough by doing this method that I showed you, or C, you're pressing too hard on your brush. So when you press hard, you get a fatty line. But when you press very softly, you can get a fine line. So make sure you're pressing softly, you don't have too much product on your brush, and that your brush is sharpened like a knife. Now I can do the rest of her eyeliner. Another thing is, Inglot gel liner dries so fast. The reason why I still use it and love it is because of the color. It's such a dark black, and it makes my photos come out really clear and good, even with flash. It's not a shiny eyeliner, it's very matte, so flash photography doesn't ruin it. So I'll suck it up. If it dries up fast, I'll deal with it because I love the color payoff that it gives. Now I'm just gonna line that up with the center of the eye and open. I'm gonna smooth this out just a little bit more. The goal is to try to get both sides to look as similar as possible. So if you need to go back and thicken up the other side, then feel free to do so. So now I've done both of the eyeliners. She's looking very ethnic right now, very exotic, I should say. And now we could either line the bottom with nude if someone wants a very soft eyeliner or a very soft look and adjacent to how strong the top is. Or what we're going to do is fully line the bottom with black, and then I'm going to show you how I do the double wing and then the single wing on the inner portion. So that's coming up right now, and then after that I'm going to show you the glitter and how to add pops of color. So getting more product because my brush keeps drying up. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling. I'm going to fill in her waterline with this black eyeliner as well, all the way to that inner corner. If your client needs to blink, back off and let her blink. Do not force her to keep her eyes open. That's going to be your worst nightmare if you force her, because you do not want tears on set. So pay attention to eye signals. So now the waterline is done. And what I'm also going to do to make it a little bit more smoky and more sexy looking, go ahead and look up again. I'm also going to line underneath a little bit, let it bleed over the roots of the lashes. It's going to look a little messy, a little smudgy, but don't worry. We're going to add black eyeshadow to that, and it's going to look a lot cleaner. So don't be afraid to go thick with the liner. As long as your client is okay with thick liner, just do it. Okay? Thick eyeliner done. Now, I'm going to add black eyeshadow with Noir from the same palette of mine. We're going to go in with the same 231 brush from MAC, and we're going to use Noir eyeshadow. I'm just going to take a little scoop of this Noir and create some stamping on her waterline. Go ahead and look up all the way. I'm going to start on one end, stamp the black in, and work my way in. And every couple of stamps, I'm grabbing more product. Why? Because I don't want, look up all the way, I don't want I don't want the black that I'm using to run out on the brush. I want my brush to have as much product as possible with every single stamp so that the black looks just as dark on the inner corner as it does on the outer corner of the eye. So now that I've completed the stamping all throughout her eye, I can use whatever's left on the brush, go ahead and look up, and stamp underneath her eye as well to give it a little bit of a fade. And that starts to look a little more sultry, which is what Arabian eyes are known for. Go ahead and blink. Okay. Okay. Are we good to move forward? Go ahead and look up. Okay, so we have now smudged that bottom edge of the liner. We're going to do the same on the other side. Every couple of stamps, we're going to grab more eyeshadow and stick it right on. Grabbing more, sticking it on, working my way in. And that gives her a chance to blink every time I grab more product. It gives your clients a chance to blink in between your grabbing. And then look up all the way. We're just going to now smudge the bottom. As you can see, when I'm smudging, my brush is being laid flat on her eye. It is not jabbing at her eye like this. I'm using it flat so that it gives an easier fade effect. Clean up any fallout. And you guys know, with my techniques, very, very little fallout happens. It's very rare that something would fall out. And if you still have a problem with fallout, then try using a shadow shield under the eyes to catch it. Or you could always do the face second. I like to get the face done before I do the eyes because for me, it's about balancing and I like to have that perfect balance before I start doing the detail stuff, which I consider eyes a very detailed thing. Now underneath what we've just done, I'm going to go in with my, where is it? My pencil brush, this lovely deal right here. And I'm going to go in with chocolate, that same dark brown that we used in her crease. Go ahead and look up all the way again. And I'm going to add chocolate right under her eyes. I'm just going to sweep it very gently. And what that's going to do is it's going to fade that black to look softer as it goes lower, so it's not so harsh. So the inside of her eye is still super black, but as it goes down, it turns into this soft chocolate color. And it ends up looking a little bit more smoky, more smudgy, more sultry, and all that good stuff. All right. So far so good. We have this really, really sexy look going on right now. And now I want to show you how I create the double wing and how I create a little Sharpie wing right in the inner corner. What we're going to use is the LA Girl liquid liner, which is called Fine Line. I love it because look how thin the felt tip pen is. So it creates a very nice thin line every time. And we're going to use this to create her double wing on the bottom. So I'm going to have you turn a little bit this way so everyone can see the double wing. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling. I have her look up and then I start very slowly and very lightly without pressing too hard, creating a parallel wing that matches the wing right above it. And I'm doing it very lightly because in case I mess up, I just don't want it to be so hard to remove. So now that I've created it, I'm going to go back in and darken it up. I'm not pressing that hard though with the felt tip pen because I don't want it getting too thick. And I'm going to connect it with the bottom lash line. So if you can see, we have this double wing here and it's connected to the bottom lash line. The top wing is connected to the top lash line. So we have a gap. That gap has to be even throughout. We cannot have one wing going up and one wing going down. That's more Cleopatra style. This is going to be two wings going in the same direction. Do the same on the other side. So turn a little bit this way, chin down a bit, yep. And look up. And we're gonna create a very soft line first, just to make sure we're in the right zone. And then I'm gonna go in and get the ink really flowing. The trick to get the tip of the wing very sharp is to not press hard on your brush. So the felt tip, we're going to press very lightly first and then press harder and harder to make the tip thin and the rest thick. So again, if you go really light with the tip and then start pressing harder and harder, you can get a nice thin to thick line, which is what we're doing here. It's thin on the corner, and it's thin at the tip of the wing, and then as it gets to the corner of the eye, it's thickening up. So what I've done here is I've let it meet with the corner of the eye on that bottom edge. And I'm gonna go back with my smudging brush. Go ahead and look up all the way. And I'm gonna add black just where the wing meets the eye so that you cannot see any globs of liquid liner. It now looks as if it's a flow all the way from the wing to the rest of the eyeliner. However, I am not smoking out the tip of the wing. I'm only adding smoke to the middle of the wing up until where it meets the eye, and then connecting it to the rest of her smoky eyeliner. Again, on this side, look up. Where the wing meets the corner, I'm going to start, and then I'm going to add a little bit up until the middle of that wing. Not the tip of the wing, just the middle, so that it has a full smoky effect and everything has a nice flow to it. It looks so cute. I'm really liking this on you. Now, LA girl, same thing, the same liquid liner. I want to show you how I do that inside wing on the inner corner of the eye to make it very Arabian. Go ahead and look over there and face here. Yep. So I'm having her look on the opposite side that way when I'm doing this wing to stretch out her skin here. Now with the tip of the liquid liner, I'm just drawing a wing. And I'm going to do the same on the other side after I'm done with this side. So while she's looking over there, just draw with the tip of your liquid liner. Draw a wing. Then, go ahead and look up. I'm going to connect the wing into the eyeliner. As so. So now we have a little bit more of a sharper cat eye effect. And look up again. I'm just going to do a little adjusting. There we go. So now it's a very complete eye. It has a nice little corner to it. It's looking very exotic. Please keep in mind when a customer is requesting that inside corner, or if you want to do it on yourself, it's going to make your eyes look closer together. It's going to bring your eyes closer together. So if your eyes are already close set, this is not something I would recommend for you or for your client. If your eyes are close set, stick to the outer wings to make them look more farther apart. And then go ahead and look my way. I'm going to create that line. As far as the angle of the line that I'm doing it in the angle as if her actual tear duct continues. So I'm not making the angle super straight and I'm not making it super down. I'm making it in the same angle in which her tear duct is shaped. So if her tear duct goes here, I'm going to continue the line that way. If her tear duct goes straight, I'm going to continue the line straight. If her tear duct goes down, I'm going to continue the line down. So however her natural tear duct is shaped, that is how I'm angling her eyeliner. And look up to the ceiling. Now I'm going to thicken up the eyeliner right here so that the wing doesn't look like some line out of nowhere. It actually has a base to it. And now we have that inner wing. I'm just going to make sure it matches with the top. Okay, there we go. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up under her eye a little bit using the same stuff I used on her earlier, which is basically the banana powder. I'm going to brighten this up because another trait of an Arabian eye is a nice bright highlight underneath. They are so all about that smoky eye and so all about that under eye highlight. So I'm going to give it to her. Bright under eye highlight to offset and complement the dark of her smoky under eye liner. Okay? Wow, looking good so far. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to curl her lashes and apply some mascara, and then I'm going to apply some pops of color, and the last thing we're going to do is the glitter. You guys still with me? We're good? How are we doing on time? Cool. Okay. So I want to curl her lashes. I'm going to use my favorite lash curler, which is from Shiseido. And I'm going to have her look down to the floor. I'm going to lift her lashes up so that they're sticking out. Is this okay?
Yep.
I always ask because I don't want to get sued. And then she's curled. Look down again, lift up, and dig right in. Is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
And curl as hard as you can curl, open, and then let go. Now I'm going to put on some of my favorite mascara on her. Go ahead and look up all the way. This is Hypnose Drama Waterproof. I'm going to go nuts on her bottom lashes, and then I'm going to go nuts on her top lashes. You have some nice lashes.
My bottom ones are really
They're amazing. And up again. Make sure you're getting all that. Every little lash hair. Another little trick I have is if I feel like I'm getting clumps, go ahead and look up again. I just run my fingers right over it. I wiggle my finger on the tip of the clump and it picks it right up. So it just separates the lashes. Now I'm ready for the top. Go ahead and look down to the floor. I'm going to lift up the roots of her lashes so that they're sticking up. And now I can just sweep all over. If your client is sensitive, you can actually have her close her eyes completely for this and do the same thing. Why don't you try closing your eyes? And then if you lift the skin up, the lashes will poke up and you could easily just get in by physically opening her eye without her feeling like they're open. Open? So that kind of helps. And look down again. I'd rather do it this way though. Just so I can get all the way into the roots. Pretty, pretty. Digging right in. And if she needs to close, she can always close. No big deal. All right. Now that her mascara is on, we are going to add a pop of color. Now I want you to go ahead and lean a little closer into the camera so people can see how your eyes look like right now without adding any pop of color and without adding any glitter. This is how our eyes look. Go ahead and look straight, oh, way off. Okay, right here. So you can see the double wing liner. You can see the smoky bottom edge. You can see how neutral her cut crease is. Go ahead and look down to the floor. Her neutral cut crease and her gold lid. This is without any pop of color and this is without any glitter. Okay? Now we are going to add all those fun things. Go ahead and sit back, relax. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of color right in the crease using my blending brush from Haku Hodo. This is B and then J142. This lovely blending brush. And I'm going to go in with my cranberry color from the set, which is called Sangria from the Tamana palette. And I'm going to use this to add a little bit of that cranberry tone right into the crease. So it's very easy to add a little pop of color over a neutral. All I'm doing is swooshing this right above her crease. Bam. Very soft wash of color throughout. So now she has it almost looks a little plumish, which is cool because that's kind of what happens when you're mixing a dark brown and a berry shade. It ends up looking a little bit deeper. So now we have a little bit of that berry tone, which is awesome for her in particular because she has green eyes. So using a berry tone or a purple tone helps to make the eyes stand out a little bit more. So I've added that. If you want to go a little harder with the color, you can always just add another layer. Now I'm going to redo a little bit of that baseline. I don't want to mess with the depth of the baseline. What I mean by baseline is the baseline of the cut crease. So I'm just adding a little bit more chocolate just to that line and kind of spreading it into the sangria color. So chocolate again, just darkening up and spread it into the sangria. So now my line shows up again. And now for another pop of color, I'm going to add a nice teal right in between her wing right here. So sometimes I do silver, sometimes I do gold, and sometimes I do teal. So I think I'm going to do teal today because that's what I showed you that I was going to teach. So might as well teach it. But I am a fan of doing gold instead. Now, the teal that I'm using is actually unfortunately discontinued. This is Aqualine from MAC Cosmetics. They've not made this in a while. I keep finding deals on eBay to get my hands on more of these. So lately I haven't found any, but if you guys find it, definitely buy it because it's awesome. And what I'm doing is I just put some on my hand. I think NYX Cosmetics might have something like this that you can find. But look around in other, like in the drugstore. I know I've seen stuff like this at drugstores. So anyway, I put it on my hand and I'm going to use my liner brush. It's like a square brush from MAC number 212. This one. I'm going to dip right in to get some saturation at the tip of the brush. Just the tip of the brush has been dipped in. And now, spread open the skin as much as possible. You're looking up. And I'm just lightly going to add this product into the gap. And you got to be very careful not to get it to mess up your liner. Have a very steady hand. All right. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Stretch the skin and start applying this lovely color. And I like the ends to kind of just fade. So I use my fingers to fade the very end of it. Okay? Now we have a beautiful pop of teal right in between the wings. It actually makes the wings stand out a lot more than if there was nothing in between these wings at all. So now, my friends, we are ready to add the glitter. I am so excited to show you the glitter. I'm going to mix 2 different Shop Violet Voss glitters on her today. And I'll tell you exactly the names and how I'm doing it. And then while the glitter is drying, I'm going to go ahead and apply the false lashes. So I'm going to show you that right now. The 2 colors that I'm going to use for the glitters from Shop Violet Voss on Instagram, it's Violet Voss Cosmetics, is Champagne. It's like an iridescent shade. And then an iridescent gold called Holy Grail. It's pretty awesome. So I'm going to mix these 2 to create a very champagne-y gold. And I'm going to use also this little baby here, which looks like a lip gloss. It's actually called, it's from Sally Girl at Sally's Beauty Supply. and it's called Sally Girl Gel Adhesive for Glitter. And I'm going to put on a metal pan. I'm going to put a little bit of this gel, and I'm going to pour a little bit of each of these glitters. So I'm going to put the gel on the pan, a nice little dollop, and I'm just going to pour a small amount of these glitters on it, directly on it. One moment, please, while I do that. I usually mix equal amounts. I just try to cover the gel dollop with some glitter. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of, I have to be very careful because I don't want this to be a mess, but I'm just kind of like pouring glitter right over the gel. And then the other color, I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to pour a little bit over. Let me see if I can do it on camera for you guys without becoming a total mess. Okay. This is awkward. Okay, so I just poured some glitter on this, on the dollop of gel that I applied. And now, with my last item that I'm going to use, this is the e.l.f. concealer brush. It's only $1 at Target. e.l.f. concealer brush. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mix the gel with the two glitters all together. And I'm mixing it into a paste. So that way, when I apply it on her, there is no way this glitter is going to fall anywhere. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick up a nice scoop of glitter. And she's going to go ahead and close her eyes. And you have to keep your eyes closed for like a really, really long time. You have to tell your client to keep their eyes closed for a long time. Otherwise, if they open it on accident, that glitter is going to get everywhere. And it's so hard to clean glitter. So eyes have to stay closed until I tell you it's ready to open. And now I'm going to start right at the center. And I'm going to paste it very gently to cover up all the gold eyeshadow. Let's say if your client wanted purple glitter, make sure you use purple eyeshadow on the lid. So whatever color glitter you're using, make sure that you're matching the glitter color on the lid color so that it looks more opaque. You can't really see too much through it. So I'm stretching the skin on the top and on the bottom so I can get closer in and not mess up all my hard work with the eyeliner and the cut crease and all that stuff. So I'm going to have you lean in a little bit. I'll help you since your eyes are closed and you have no idea what you're doing. And now you can see this beautiful glitter. Just stay right there. So again, starting in the center and just very lightly pasting it all over. And we have this beautiful sparkly effect. I'm going to take another scoop of glitter and do the other side. Starting in the center and very carefully spreading it all over the gold. And I'm not pressing hard when I'm spreading because I don't want to disturb the eyeshadow underneath. I simply just want to deposit gold glitter. I'm going to stretch out the skin a little bit so I can get in the corner. And there we go. So now I'm going to let her relax and have her eyes closed while this glitter dries up. If you want it even more glittery, you can add another layer, no problem. I have more, so I might as well use it. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply the false lashes. You can definitely fan your client to speed up the drying process, but usually while it's drying, I have other stuff to do on the client anyway, so I might as well have her relax with her eyes closed. while I do those other things, which would include the lips, but I've already done them. Sometimes I go in and I add a little bit more cheek color. Sometimes I go in and do a little bit brow fixing or eyeliner fixing. Maybe I'll do a little bit more liner fixing just so it's like darker. I'm just going to trace over the liner. That also helps to clean up any mistakes in case you smudged it with glitter. And now I'm going to apply false lashes while her glitter is drying. So, let's see what falsies I'm going to use. I have them here. I'm going to apply Model 21 lashes in number 21. They're very easy to apply. It's a thin band. And they look like this. They come in boxes like this, and it's very, very affordable. Number 21, Model 21 lashes. The website is model21lashes.ca. They are not mink or anything. They're very disposable and very inexpensive. So I just use it one time and throw it away. You could, I guess, reuse them, but they're very thin, so it's best to use them maybe once or twice maximum. What I'm going to do is curl these false lashes so that they poke up more. So I'm holding it with a tweezer, and I go in with my lash curler and I curl them so that the lashes kind of poke up. Okay, I'm going to do that with both lashes. That's going to kill some time while her eyes are drying. And if you need to trim them, like if you want to measure them and trim them, you absolutely can. You should actually, just to make sure that they fit your client nicely. I'm more visual, so I just already trim the inner portion regardless. So I just curl this, make sure all the lash hairs go through, give it a nice curl, and now it's ready to be applied. The lash glue that I use is latex free from houseoflashes.com. And it has a brush applicator, so it's very easy for me to just go ahead and apply it. Also, it doesn't require too much dry time, so I'm just going to wave it in the air to get it to dry a little bit and get sticky, and then I'm going to apply it. And then what I do is I match center to center, and then I stick the outer corner, and I stick the inner corner. And then with the back of the tweezer, I push down so that there's no gap. While that dries, I'll go ahead and do the other side. Same thing. We're going to use a little bit of this brush-on glue, very easy. Let it dry. Get a little sticky. And then from the center, we're going to match it to the center of her eye. We're going to press down the outer corner and then press in the inner corner. And then with the back of the tweezer, we're going to push it down to make sure that there are no gaps. And then I fan it just to speed up that drying process. I'm so impatient. I want everything perfect right now. Oh, you look like a doll. I can't wait for you to see everything done. Making sure this is nice and dry. When I do this, okay, so here's another thing that I'm about to show you guys when you're working on a client or even on yourself. The easiest way to figure out if her glitter is dry yet is to fan. When you do this, if she feels any type of cooling on her eyelid, that means the glitter is still wet. When I do this, does it feel cool?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay, we're just going to wait another second, well, a minute. I'm just going to keep fanning until you feel that it's not so cool. If it's a little bit cool, you're kind of okay, but I'd rather not risk it. And let that cool down. In the meantime, I might as well play with your hair. Okay. Looking good. While this dries, I'm just going to go ahead and check out some of your questions on the feed. If there's anything that I can answer right now, any pressing issues you guys may have. Okay, so what other eyeshadow color combos work well with Arabic cut crease in your experience? Ooh, I like that question. Okay, so some of the things that work with Arabic eye, some color combinations, I love purple. We've already kind of created a little bit of a purpley effect using like a cranberry sangria shade, but you could go straight in with a purple. I usually, in my experience, my brides use a lot of gold. So what's best and most wearable is a gold glitter or a silver glitter. Metallic tones always work best, but for the crease, you could pair it up with purples, pinks, like a hot pink, depending on if you're working with an Indian bride. Usually for their receptions, they're wearing brighter colors like that. I've paired it up with like a navy blue. I've gone in from like a deep chocolate to a navy blue color. You can pair it up with anything in the brown family, purple family, blue family. Usually those look best. For that inner line, it has to be, like, you cannot use any dark colors for that bold flash of color in between her double wing. If you're going to use a dark color, it's just going to look like a fat wing. It's not going to show from far. It will only show from up close. So that's why when I'm doing a color in between her double wing, it has to be bright and very clear that it's not even close to black. So I do a neon blue, like an aqua like this, or I'll do like a very, very pale gold or a pale silver or something. There's gold and silver pencils from Anastasia Beverly Hills that I love to use. It's from their metallic luster liner line. One is called liquid silver and the other one's called liquid gold. These work amazing to be putting right in between that line right there. Instead of the teal, you could use one of these and keep it more neutral so it's not so much color. Most of my brides are not really into a whole lot of color. They're more into like metallic tones, like gold glitters and stuff like that. So that's usually what I do as far as my color combinations are concerned. I don't go too crazy. Okay, are you dry?
I think so, yeah.
All right, let me help you open in case you feel stuck. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling and pull up all the way. I'm going to help you. Look up to the ceiling. Awesome. Blink, blink, blink. Do you see yourself? It looks awesome. Yeah, go ahead and play with your lashes if you need to kind of like mess with them, make them a little bit more flexible. Wow, look at you. Let's get a little closer to the camera. Go ahead and look at that image. That's going to be you. And let's get both your eyes in it so people can see everything. You're looking absolutely stunning. Look at that. So we did the cut crease, we did the double liner, we did the single liner on the inner corner, and now we added glitter and the pops of color. So there you have it. This is the full look. Everything is looking awesome. I'm going to have you turn from side to side so people can see all the angles. Awesome. Oh, giving me life. Looks so amazing. Okay, go ahead and sit back, relax. We're going to zoom out for a little bit. I'm going to talk about this look a little bit more, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
And enjoy your evening with this
Thank
lovely,
you.
fabulous
I
look.
love it.
Oh, I love it too. Okay, guys, so I hope you learned a lot today. This was one of my most favorite looks to do. And again, the color combinations are endless. You go ahead and see, what your bride is wearing or what you're wearing, and you can go according to that. But normally, just to keep it more wearable, I usually stick with metallic tones, and I usually don't even add that teal. It's just I'm known for that teal. It's just something I did many, many, many years ago, and it just kind of stuck. But normally when I do it on brides, I put gold in between. And that's pretty much the only difference. So if you guys have questions, more questions, go ahead and write it down in the comment section of my latest Instagram post. And I will read them and try to get through some questions for our Q&A. And I'm going to reveal who the winner is of the Lorac giveaway. I'm actually going to reveal that now as soon as we get started with the Q&A. So thank you so much, Abigail.
Oh, thank you.
For being our beautiful model. This is, I mean, look at her face. I mean, seriously, does it get better than that? I don't even know. Okay. It was a pleasure having you. And definitely show some love on her page. It's Abigail Ratchford.
Yes, just one word.
One word. And I tagged her in my last post inside the picture. Just click once. You'll see her page. Go ahead and show her some love and thank her for being our model. And if you want to see her again as my model for any other class, let us know and maybe we can make it happen. Maybe. Awesome. Thank you so much. If you guys are wondering how I styled her hair, I barely styled it. I just, worked a little bang magic here. And I just used the Bombay hair curling wand for this. And a very, very little hairspray just at the root with some teasing. And I am going to show you in an upcoming hair class how to do the Hollywood wave, the full Hollywood wave. This is just like the bang, but I'm going to show you how to do the full Hollywood wave in the upcoming class. So thank you, Abigail.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And we're going to switch places. I'm going to do a Q&A.
Okay.
And if you want to hang out, you absolutely can.
Okay. I'm going to
Or
just
if you
take
need
some
to bounce,
pictures.
then perfect. This is selfie time. This absolutely is. Okay, so, hi guys, I'm here, I'm yours. And now I'm going to whip out my phone and answer some amazing questions. But before I do that, I want to thank all of you for entering the Lorac giveaway. You can turn on those lights if you want on the mirror. Yeah, I have this awesome mirror thing with lights on it. It has another knob too with white lights if you like. It has white lights and gold lights, and it's like the perfect selfie mirror. I'll talk about all those stuff in like a bonus class or something, all the cool stuff that I have. So I'm going into my Instagram. I'm going to answer some questions here. Oh no, wait, no. I want to talk about my giveaway. So I'm going to announce the winner of the Lorac giveaway. And I have it in my email here. I did not choose the winner, so I have to open up the email and find the person's picture. Drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun. The winner is SSHAHID3. That is the Instagram name right here. You are, can you even see this? You, my friend, are the winner of the Lorac giveaway. Congratulations, Miss Sidra Shahid. And your Instagram name, SSHAHID3. You are the winner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find you on Instagram and I'm going to direct message you so you can give us your shipping information, and Lorac will go ahead and ship all the goodies to your home. So for those of you who didn't know about the giveaway, I'm going to show you right now what she just won, because she just won a whole lot of really awesome things here. She just won all these holiday sets from Lorac. So she won a bunch of eyeshadow sets. She won some glittering eye liquid shimmers. She won a bunch of lip glosses galore. And that's what I want to do for you guys. Every single episode, I want to give a lucky winner something incredibly awesome that only my members are able to enter. So congrats, my love, for entering and winning these amazing products. Basically, with every class, all you have to do to enter my latest giveaway is to follow the instructions that I'm going to post after class. So the next giveaway that I'm working on right now for this class is, I got to show you a picture of this too because this is flipping awesome. It is from Tarte Cosmetics. It is everything you see here. Everything. And guess what? I'm going to have two winners this time. They were so generous and they're going to give me two of these sets. It's an eyeshadow set. There's a cream. There's a double bronzing and highlighting compact. There's a blush. There's lipstick. There's lip surgeons. There's eyeliner and an eyeliner brush. All this stuff from Tarte Cosmetics is going to be yours, whoever the lucky winners are. 2 winners. And I'm going to post a flyer after class today. Give me like an hour to like get everything together. I'm going to post a flyer, and then I'm going to post all the instructions on how to enter to win. So make sure you follow those instructions. Enter, enter, enter. And then at the next class, I'm going to announce who the winners are for this particular giveaway, and then I will announce the next giveaway at that class too. So this is going to be an ongoing fun thing that I'm going to give for you guys. So hope you're enjoying, and congrats again to our winner for the last Lorac Cosmetics giveaway. And I will be posting the flyer for this giveaway momentarily, so hang tight. I'll get you all that information soon. So back to the Q&A. I'm going to go over some questions for the next 15-20 minutes or so, all on my latest post. Let me just go ahead and go up here and read some of these questions. So, can you achieve this look on someone who doesn't have a visible crease? Absolutely you can. I've done this look on mono lids all the time, or hooded lids. That's basically where you cannot see a visible crease. It's usually like a flat skin here. This look with a cut crease is actually very, very awesome on mono lids or hooded eyes. And the way I do it is the same way I did it on my client today, even though she didn't have mono lids or anything. She actually, what I had her do was look straight into the, straight into the camera or outward. And while her eyes were open, I went ahead and etched in where I think her cut crease should be. So with girls with hooded eyes or mono lids, you do the same thing. Have them look straight out and then trace right over her fold. Just trace it. And then when she closes her eyes, it'll move a little bit, but then you can kind of smooth it out, fix it up, and bolden the line like I did on our model today. And that's how you would do it. And it ends up looking awesome because in pictures, it ends up looking like they have a nice deep crease. It is so amazing. If you scroll down my page, like I know I have so many posts, maybe to like last year or something, I did a lot of Asian models with the cut crease. And I've done it with students and with myself anyway. And there you can see some examples of how it looks. It literally looks like they had like an eyelid surgery. I mean, it's so crazy how cool it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and read some other questions now. I'm going to refresh. Which method do you prefer when you're fading out the cut crease shadow, a pencil brush or the small shader? You know what? Honestly, for me, it's whatever brush comes in my hand first. That's the brush I'm going to end up using. So if I end up using the small shader brush at all during the process, I'm probably going to still have it in my hand, and I end up using the small shader brush to blend the whole thing. What I've noticed is the pencil brush method is a lot faster. So if I'm in a hurry, I go ahead and use the pencil brush, even if it's not readily available. I'll find it in my kit and use it if I'm in a hurry. So if you guys saw earlier, I make a fatty line with a pencil brush and I just wipe off the top part of the line. It's super easy. And then with a small shader brush, the other method was to pack it really heavily on the line and start fading it upward as you go. So sometimes if I just don't have time to look for the other brush, I'll go ahead and use a shader brush. But I don't really have like a total preference, I guess. How do you do a cut crease for someone that has a small lid? Same thing. When the eyes are open all the way, you can trace around the eye area and create the look of a larger lid. Same exact thing that I would do for a mono lid or a hooded eyelid. Okay, so the liner on the model was amazing. Thank you. Do you have advice for lining in between the bottom lashes and covering the gaps for clients that have coarser eyelashes? So what she's talking about is, like, you know how sometimes when you line the inside rim of someone's eye and then you're lining the outer part, but then there's a gap right on the roots of the lashes. There's like a gap of white because the brush couldn't get through the roots of the lashes. Sometimes that happens. It happened today too a little bit. What I do is I smudge it, like I go a little harder, and I use the edge of my liner brush to smudge right into the gap, like right into the roots of the lashes. And basically what happens is the brush will force your product into that space. And then, you know how I end up covering the whole lash line with black eyeshadow with my smudging brush. When that happens, I do it in a flat motion as well, like right on the roots of the lashes, and that usually grabs onto the gaps so that it covers everything up so it looks a lot smoother. That's what I do. Okay. Oh my God. I want to show you the floating cut crease. Okay, I'm gonna bring the model back and demonstrate how I do the floating cut crease. Now that I've done like the connected, you know what happened? I was just so mesmerized by the beauty that was created with this look that I just stopped right there and I was like, you know what, this is it. This is a masterpiece. So thank you, my love, for reminding me to do the floating cut crease. Okay, I'm gonna bring our model back and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to create that floating cut crease look. And I'm going to apply what I'm supposed to apply for the float. So 1 second. I'm bringing her back. Dun, 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 dun. That is so funny. I just got way too excited and I don't know what happened to my brain. I wonder if anyone else caught that. That's hilarious.
I forgot too.
I completely forgot. Okay. Welcome back. Okay, let's zoom in all the way. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to float her cut crease. I think that's going to look even more mesmerizing, actually. It may. Okay, so we are zoomed in all the way. I'm going to go back to this brush here. I'm going to clean it, though, because now we have teal all over it. I'm going to clean it off. And what I'm going to do, 2 minutes. What I'm going to do is go into Gilded from my set. Gilded is the same color I used on her lid. So that's why I'm choosing it again. And how easy is it to change this to a floating cut crease? You'll see right now. So she's going to look down and all I'm doing is adding that same gold color right under, basically, like, here's the cut crease. I'm continuing it in a piggyback motion over her liquid liner. And it's just that gold, the same gold that I used on her lid. So I'm going to make it a little thicker and a little bolder. And now we basically have that floating cut crease, and we just have to add a little bit of darkness for the contrast. I'm going to go into chocolate again and darken up the top edge for the float. And I'm going to smooth it up a little bit to get that fade. So all I did was add that gold right in through here above her liner. And then I darkened up right over here, right above. Awesome, right? It looks really pretty. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm using Gilded. And we're just going to trace it right over her liquid liner to create a gap, just like that. And then bring in that dark brown and fade it out so that we have that darkness showing right there. So that's how I do the floating cut crease. It's so easy. Or if you know that your client wants a floating cut crease from the beginning, you know how we drew the line with the eyeliner? We drew the cut crease. Instead of connecting it to her regular eyeliner wing, you could just create a flick so that you have a wing here and a wing here. So you could go straight into this instead of having to wait till the end to do it. And just to give some sparkle to that outer corner, I'm going to go into this lovely deal here. This is the Urban Decay Midnight Cowboy. It's just a gold glitter, and I'm just going to apply this to the gap so that it shines the same way that the rest of the eye shines. And we're going to fill that up. So any little touch-ups, guys, instead of mixing a whole new piece of glitter, I just go in and I add with the glitter liner instead. It's just easier for touch-up purposes. but I prefer loose glitter for the chunky look all over. So now let's get a little closer and go ahead and dip in, and go ahead and look down. Beautiful. So now you guys can all see the gap, the floating, that's what I call a floating cut crease, where the cut crease does not hit the eyeliner, it just floats right off. All right, now we're done. Let's zoom out again. Oh my gosh, so funny. Okay, thank you for reminding me, because that was kind of like another eye-opening moment. See how easy it was to create the floating cut crease? It was pretty awesome. I want to quickly just give you a hint, though, that to enter the next contest or the next giveaway, you're going to have to take snapshots going throughout this whole class. So what's happening is, like, what you can do is, if you didn't get any snapshots of us working today in class, you can rewatch the recorded version that we're going to post as soon as it's up. It usually takes several hours for a video to post up to your members pages. Because it's shot in HD, it takes forever to upload. So give it like a day. Sometimes we're lucky and the upload speed's a little faster and it shows up within a few hours, but sometimes it takes like an entire day to upload. Sometimes it crashes. I mean, technology is technology, so then we have to wait another couple of hours for it to upload. So whenever it uploads, replay it, take some snapshots or some screenshots of what you're seeing on your computer or on your cell phone or whatever, and you can enter the giveaways like that. So I will explain how to enter the giveaway in much more detail once I make the flyer for tonight, so you know what to do exactly. But just a heads up, you might want to take some screenshots of the recorded version once it's up, unless you've already done so. So I'm going to answer just a couple more questions before we head out. Refresh. I'm gonna go up. Oh, okay. Would it be okay to use a pencil for the crease, or would it smear? You can use a pencil for it. It won't smear because we set it with eyeshadow, remember? So don't worry about pencil smearing. The only problem with using a pencil rather than a gel liner, which is what we used, is that a pencil isn't going to be as sharp or as dark as a gel liner. So if you're using a dark brown pencil, unless it's like a super dark brown pencil and very sharpened pencil, it's not going to be as rich looking as a gel. And then the other thing is, pencils tend to like jab over and skip over skin, and unless it's very, very creamy pencil, it's not going to give you a very clean line. So you can absolutely practice with a pencil, and once you feel confident enough to use a gel liner instead, go ahead and upgrade to the gel liner thing, because I've noticed that when I use a gel liner with a brush, it glides so effortlessly and I don't have to work as hard on keeping it clean looking. Okay, a couple more questions. Let's see. Do you ever use bottom lashes? And also, do you have any tips on stacking lashes? I will be covering all of this in next month's lash class. It's going to be in January, I believe January 6th. It's a lash class all about lashes. And I know that a lot of you may think, okay, well, what is there to know about lashes? It's just false lashes, just stick it on. I have so many tips for you guys. If you have seen any of my past classes, I'll have tips about the simplest thing, but these tips will blow your mind. So the lash class is going to be like that. It sounds like it's the simplest thing, but there are so many techniques to make lash application easier and better and more beautiful. So I'm going to go over all that stuff in the lash class. And just to answer your question real quick, the bottom lash thing, I don't often use them. Me personally, I like the Courtney bottom lashes from Flutter Lashes. They're mink. But the Courtneys, they look nice and full and beautiful, and I've used them in the past. But because of my allergies and my sensitive eyes, when I put any type of lash glue, even the latex-free lash glue, I'm usually not too sensitive with latex-free lash glue, but the bottom lashes tend to tickle a little bit, so I cannot use it for more than a couple of hours. And I don't really offer it much to my clients. I just typically like to build and build and build and build with mascara rather than using false lashes on the bottom for a strip. if my clients, like let's say Layla Milani, for example, I love putting bottoms on her. What I actually do is I put singles. So I'll get individual lashes from Ardell, the mediums and the smalls, and I'll just go ahead and put mediums on the outer part and smaller ones as I go in, or you could also trim them. So I'll put individuals and space them out underneath, and those are much more comfortable than using a strip for sensitive eyes. And I've also done it for Gretchen Rossi as well the last time I did her makeup. So that's sometimes what I like to do. Let's see what else here. How long does it take you to do a full face on a client? 1 hour. I try to keep it at an hour. Okay, I'm gonna go up to some of the beginning questions. I want to make sure I don't like miss really important ones. Oh, okay. Someone is saying for lashes that are very thick in the corners and tend to stick up and they're very hard to apply, what I do is I just cut the corners off. Honestly, the inner corner of lashes sometimes are so short lashes anyway that they don't even show. So just snip that little corner off. And there's ways that I'll show you in the lash class how to make your lashes more flexible by wrapping them around your finger and kind of bending. That'll help you place the lashes a little bit better so they don't just stick right back out. Let's see. What gold liner would you recommend instead of the teal? The same ones that I showed you in the video, the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid luster liner. It's not even liquid, it's a pencil, but it looks like liquid. So there are luster liners on the website. They have liquid gold and liquid silver. It's in a pencil form, but it looks like liquid and it's awesome. Like that's what I use. Oh my God. Someone's asking about my henna, and I'm so happy to show it to you, but let me clean my hands first because they look like a hot mess. And I would not want to show off my lovely henna with all this crap all over my hand. So let me just clean it off for a second and explain to you about henna. I love henna. I'm wondering if you guys would ever want a henna class on my channel. I know how to do henna. I've done henna in the past. I'm not a henna I would never say I'm a henna artist. That's not something I would do, but I know how to do henna. I used to play with henna like all the time growing up. I am half Indian and half Afghan, and with both cultures, henna is a very important aspect to celebratory events, and such as weddings or Eid. And we like to have fun with designs and stuff. So I'm just gonna wipe off all this stuff that's on my hand so I can show you this gorgeous design. So my henna girl did this design for me. Her name is Minal, and her Instagram page is called Bridal Henna Beauty, all one word. And she created this awesome design for me for my birthday. I just turned 30 a few days ago on December 6th, and I had this huge party on December 7th for some of my close friends here in LA. And Minal traveled all the way from Sacramento to come here and give me my birthday gift of doing henna and giving me a ton of beautiful henna candles, which we also gave out at the party. So this is how it looks like. It's pretty awesome. It takes about 3 days to get really dark. So now it's starting the fading process. After it gets super dark the third day, then it starts to fade. Basically, it oxidizes, gets darker with time. And that's kind of how it works. It's pretty cool. I'm going to answer maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and then we got to head out. How do you do cut crease on deeper eyes? That is a very good question. Sometimes when the eyes are too deep set, a cut crease can make it look even more deep. So for deep set eyes, I make sure that the cut crease is not totally inside the hollow of the eye, that the cut crease is starting a little bit higher, more on the bone, the orbital bone of the eye up here. So instead of going into the hollow of the eye when you're doing a deep eye cut crease, go a little bit higher so that you can offset the hollowness of the eye, and then make sure that the eyelid color that you're using is nice and bright and metallic-y so that the eyelid can come out and not look so deep. It's more advisable also to use very, very shiny colors on the eyelid. The shinier the color or the brighter the color, the more the eyelid will come out, kind of like what the highlight does for the face. So that's kind of how I would do it on a deep set eye. And, oh, someone is saying that LA Splash Cosmetics has the perfect teal liner, similar to the one that I showed you, which is discontinued. If you're looking for that, for the one, it's called Teal Mania. Thank you, Kim J. Love, for letting us know about that. LA Splash Cosmetics has a teal, similar to what I used. Tips for applying glitter on your own lid. So when I'm doing glitter on my own lid, obviously, like, you can't close your eyes forever because you have to see what you're doing. So instead, I put my chin up and my eyes automatically look down to the mirror, and that way I'm not folding my eye up. It's staying down, there's no fold, and you just stay like that and wave until your glitter is dry. Just try to make sure that you're not gonna look up at all during this process. So to look at yourself in the mirror, you'd go like this and look at yourself this way so that your eyelid is as flat as possible. Someone's asking about similar brushes to MAC, but without that price tag. Morphebrushes.com. It's MORPHE. They have so many brushes, different qualities, different hairs, different metals, all that stuff, you know, what the whole brush is made of and all that good stuff, and such good prices. So low price, it's insane almost. It's like, how do they even make money going that low? I've asked them, I'm like, how did you make money? Like, some of these brushes are like $3. It's ridiculous. But, you know, they keep their prices low. They're totally giving back to their customers. And they do have some more medium price ranged ones that are a little bit higher in quality, but even though the cheaper ones are not bad quality at all, they're very good, especially to practice with. And then also I like Sigma brushes. They're pretty decent price, a little bit lower than MAC, and they have a very good range as well. So I'm just gonna answer one more question, then we gotta run. Let me refresh and see how it's going. Okay, so questions on glitter. Someone's asking, can we use any type of glitter? I have tons of glitter from Michaels and craft stores, or is makeup glitter something special only for makeup? Okay, so here's the deal with makeup, cosmetic grade glitter. Cosmetic grade glitter has to be gentle enough to use on the eyes without cutting it. I know that sounds horrific, but glitter from craft stores, like, I've used it before. It's not a big deal, whatever. Like, I've used a little bit here and there and nothing happened. But for a cosmetic grade glitter to be made and to be sold as a cosmetic glitter that is safe for eyes and lips, it has to be a certain quality and a certain cut and a certain material and all that stuff. So if you're really sensitive, or if you want to be very safe, then stick to cosmetic grade glitters, which are from cosmetic companies such as Shop Violet Voss. Motives also has glitter, and a bunch of brands carry glitter. I usually just use Shop Violet Voss glitter. They just have the most colors that I've ever seen in my life, and so I keep buying from them and using from them. But oh, and also what is that brand? Hang on, I have another one I want to show you. It's really cool, actually. There's a few. Okay, some other brands aside from Shop Violet Voss would be Lit Cosmetics. There's a glitter kit that they carry. And then another one that I love is Eye Candy Cosmetics. They have a ton of little glitters, and they also have brushes and stuff. So these are some other brands that I've used and I've liked. And they're all cosmetic grade glitter used for cosmetic purposes. So just to be safe, you know, just stick with that. But, you know, like I said, I've used Michael's glitter before, or like I went to a paper store and bought really chunky glitter. I still have it. And sometimes I'll use it just for the center for like a big chunk, and then everything else is like little tiny glitters. And that kind of was cool. So, but you didn't hear that from me. I'm saying use cosmetic grade. So thank you everyone for your questions and for being here with me today. Now run off and enjoy the Victoria's Secret fashion show on TV. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be watching that. I'm not, because I work 24/7 and I'm just going to be working on the next project, but enjoy it. And thank you for enjoying my show, and I'll see you soon for the next show. And stay tuned on my page for the giveaway, the official giveaway flyer and the official giveaway rules. Thank you again to Abigail Ratchford for being here and being our amazing model.